question yesterday, yeah? You
Yeah.
use Microsoft Intune. So Microsoft Power BI is a tool to create reports.
Okay.
Did we discuss this one yesterday? I think
No,
no.
no, no. No, yesterday I didn't join.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
All right. So, if you, it said the question says you use Microsoft Intune and Intune data warehouse. So you need to create a device inventory report that includes the data stored in data warehouse. So what should you use to create the report? The company portal app is is not a relevant choice because um, I don't know what do they mean by the company portal app. There could be, numerous portal apps in company portal apps. Endpoint analytics is just used for analysis purpose, like checking the device health, startup, all these things, security. And
Mm.
Azure portal app again, it's which apps. Microsoft Power BI is a tool which is used to create reports, and it can be connected to your Active Directory.
Mm.
If you see the definition here, Microsoft BI is a business intelligence tool and data visualization tool that can be used to create reports from the Intune data warehouse. The Intune data warehouse stores historical. So, what is in the Intune data warehouse? In Intune data warehouse, there could be Intune environment, um, different things, how many computers, devices you have enrolled, which policies you have enrolled, different things, and including the inventory. So is asking inventory reports, inventory reports, what should you use? And even in the warehouse, there are inventory reports as well. So you can use Microsoft Power BI to connect to the Intune data warehouse and create reports that shows the following information. You see these information will be shown:
Yeah.
device name, device type, operating system, manufacturer, model, serial number. You see all these things are shown in the data warehouse, and can be used. Power BI can be used to create reports.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one, you have Microsoft 365 a subscription and 25 Apple iPads. You need to enroll the iPad in Microsoft Intune by using the Apple configurator enrollment method. What should you do first? So, is the correct option is this one: configure and apply MDM push certificate. So if you go, I haven't found any tool like this because I haven't configured this one. Um, Apply MDM push certificates. It is it's a feature on Intune, and you can use this one to enroll iPads into Microsoft Intune. This one is add a user account as a device enrollment manager. You can do this after you do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't done apply MDM push certificate for Apple devices, for iPads, you cannot add user as a device enrollment manager. If you want to add a user as a device enrollment manager, first you will need um, to enroll the device, to enroll the device into Intune. Then you can add that user to the device enrollment manager. And device enrollment manager, I think they can enroll up to 1000 devices. Yeah.
Okay.
to 1000 devices. Yeah, this is also a question. How many devices a device enrollment manager can add into Intune? Microsoft, modify the enrollment restrictions. This is not something related to iPads. And upload a file that has the device identifiers for each iPad. So this one also looks correct, but the thing I told you, if again this one option D and option D is like again adding, if you want to add and enroll a device into Intunes, you need to configure apply MDM push certificate. I'll try to find this apply MDM push certificate in Intune. If I could find it, then I will add to the video that
Oh.
code as well. Okay, so this one we already discussed this one before. Maybe you will have an idea which one is the correct option to choose. So you have 100 computers that run Windows 10. You have no servers. All the computers are joined to Azure AD. Um, the computers have different update settings, and some computers are configured for manual updates. You need to configure Windows Update. The solution must meet the following requirements. The configuration must be managed from a central location. Internet traffic must be minimized. Cost must be minimized. So, how should you configure Windows Update? Um, you need to choose this one. So, Windows Update technology to use. Which Windows Update technology would you use? Windows Server, Update Service, Microsoft Configuration Manager, Windows Update for Business.
Okay. So this is for Azure AD.
Yeah, this one, if I tell you, uh, Windows Server Update is, I believe it's used on local directory,
Mm.
Active Directory. Yeah, Microsoft Configuration Manager. Uh, you use this profile configuration manager
Mm.
to create Windows Update, but there inside there is a specific thing which is Windows Update for Business. So Windows Update for Business is because you want to minimize the cost and to minimize the cost and internet traffic also. So you set a custom update, and that
Mm.
custom update can be set from Windows Update for Business, not
Okay.
Microsoft Configuration Manager and Windows Update services. Like I said, this one is used on local Active Directory.
Mm-hmm.
And this one you should know. So manage the configuration by using a group policy. So a group policy again on local Active Directory. While here it says that
Azure.
all the computers are joined to Azure AD. So a group policy object is not applicable here. Microsoft Configuration Manager or in Microsoft Intune.
Microsoft Configuration Manager.
We I showed you yesterday where to configure these settings for previous day, sorry, where to configure these settings. It was in Intune portal, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the correct option is Intune, Microsoft Intune, not the Microsoft Configuration Manager. Because I showed you in Microsoft Intune, remember you go to the configuration profiles, you create a profile there. um, I think it was a device configuration profile.
So only the option is configuration option is available in Intune, isn't it then?
Yeah, that is available in Intune. Yeah, so
Okay.
manage the configuration by using Intune, Microsoft Intune.
Okay.
If I go there, Intune, app where was it? Devices, configuration profiles, create a new policy, and platform Windows 10 or later, templates, delivery optimization. Remember,
Mm,
delivery
yeah.
optimization, then create here, name the policy, and now you can configure. You see the want to use from the internet or from local network only. The bandwidth, you see, bandwidth also is asking you also need to configure the bandwidth. You see, internet traffic must be minimized. You see, so that is
Mm,
the bandwidth. You can configure, absolute, or you can give a percentage, you know
mm,
uh, and all these settings you can do in Microsoft Intune. So the correct option here is Microsoft Intune. Microsoft Configuration Manager is not even here. You see, Microsoft Configuration Manager, that is a different feature, I believe. What is Microsoft Configuration Manager? If we go Microsoft Configuration Manager is a part of Microsoft Intune.
yeah.
Integrated solution for managing all your devices. Okay. So it is more like managing all devices. The following Microsoft management solution are all now part of Microsoft Intune.
Mm,
Configuration Manager, Intune, Endpoint Analytics, or Autopilot.
okay.
Yeah, you can read this for further research.
Yeah.
I also have added for Windows Update technology when we will need Windows Server updates used to manage updates for Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, 16, and Windows Server 2019. You can read these notes as well. Anyway, so the correct
Yeah.
option is Microsoft Intune, and manage traffic by using which one? Remember we did here. Which one was it?
There's something that which something.
Did reach something?
Delivery optimization, branch cache, peer cache, which one? Manage the traffic. If you want to manage the traffic, which one should you configure?
Delivery optimization?
Yes, exactly. Delivery optimization. I just showed you here delivery optimization. Windows 10, templates, delivery optimization. We do all these settings in delivery optimization. So the correct option is delivery optimization.
Yeah.
Okay, this one. You have Microsoft 365 subscription that contain 150 hybrid Azure AD joint devices. All the devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to configure delivery optimization on the devices to meet the following requirements. Allow download. So it's again like the same question, this one. Yeah, you need to configure delivery optimization on the devices to meet the following requirements. Allow all downloads from internet and from local computers, and limit the percentage, you know, of used bandwidth to 50. And what should you configure? A configuration profile, a Windows update for business group policy setting, so again, the elimination rule. This one is not, group policy setting. Uh,
Mm,
a Microsoft peer-to-peer networking service group policy setting? No, it's not. And an update ring for Windows 10 or later. So update ring, I believe it is also something that can be done on a local Active Directory. So, and if you go to Intune, you see what is this configuration profile.
Yeah.
In configuration profile, you create a new policy, and there you see the delivery optimization. So the correct option is configuration profile.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this one you will need to research on these two group types: universal distribution group and global security group. So let's go to the question. Your network contains an Active Directory domain named contoso.com. The domain contains a computer named computer1 and runs Windows 10. You have the groups shown in the following table. So these are the groups. Group 1 is a universal distribution group and it's part of contoso.com. Then group 2 is a global security group and also is a part of contoso.com. Group 3 is a computer, it's just a group, and group 4 is also a group, just a general group, and computer 1 and computer 2. So these are the groups, and now the question asking is which group can you add to group 4. So if you have to add group 4, group 4 can have multiple devices, can have multiple devices or multiple users, doesn't matter. So which group can you add to group 4? And the correct option is global security group. A global security group is only the group that you can add to any other group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, universal distribution group cannot be added to other groups, and the reason I have explained here, only global security groups can be added to other groups as a member, right? So global security group, if you add global security group to another group, it will be added as a member, and the other groups are either not security groups or not global security groups. Okay, so group 1 is a universal distribution group. Universal distribution group are used to distribute messages to large number of recipients. They cannot be added to other groups. So you can add a group 2, which is global security group. You can add it to group 3 and group 4, but the question is asking which groups can you add to group 4. So that is global security group, which is group 2. So group 2 only, that is the correct option.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to remember this. Global security group can be added to any other group. If I change the question, which group can you add to group 3? So what would be the correct option?
It's global.
Global security group, yes. Okay, this one, you have Microsoft 365 subscription. The subscription contains computer that run Windows 11 and enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to create a compliance policy that meets the following requirements. Requires BitLocker drive encryption on each device. Requires minimum operating system version. Which settings of the compliance policy should you configure for each requirements? To answer, Drake. Okay, so which one you need to, it requires BitLocker, so you need, which one is the correct option here? For requires BitLocker, where do you configure these settings?
Require BitLocker. Not device properties. Not on Microsoft Defender endpoint. No, not that.
I'm just guessing Microsoft Defender for endpoint.
Microsoft Defender for endpoint. So Microsoft Defender is something related to security, right? So, to antivirus. Microsoft Defender. You see,
Yeah.
Microsoft Defender is an antivirus which comes with the Windows. So there is nothing, it has no relationship to BitLocker. Device properties device properties is not the correct option for BitLocker, because device properties, what are the device properties? Which Windows version has been installed, or which model is the device, which company is it? For example, the device name and model, make and model. Is this the device an iPad? Is it an Android? Is it a Microsoft? Which device and which version has installed?
You
So
set up a BitLocker on device property. Yeah.
yeah, so device property is not correct for BitLocker. You can't configure BitLocker in device properties. System security, I would believe, in my guessing, these two are the correct. One of them is correct one. So device health and system security. So from just looking at this, if you see the system security is more appropriate,
Yeah.
requires a bit locker, but the correct option is device health. From device health, you can set the policy. If you go create a policy, let's go create a policy for which devices were there, Windows 10, and templates in device. Okay, so where we compliance policies. If you go to compliance policies, in compliance policies, create a new one and choose here Microsoft Windows 10 or later, and so there are only two versions. That's why it's grayed out. Cannot select Microsoft 10 or 11. This policy will be applicable for both windows. So you name here any like a BitLocker, for example, and then you click on next. So if you go to this tab here, you can see system security. In system security, we see most of the password related settings, like user passwords, um, what kind of passwords they can choose, whether simple password is allowed or not, minimum password length, maximum password length. Device properties, we choose here Microsoft. uh,
Version.
yeah, we choose minimum versions or maximum versions, which is correct for requires minimum operating system version. We see that in device properties.
Mm.
Yeah, we configure these settings in device properties. If you go to device health, in device health you can see BitLocker. We can configure from here, require BitLocker, then just click on next and assign to any group or a device. So requires BitLocker can be configured in device health, and requires minimum operating system can be configured in device properties. Okay, you have Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune. You have Windows 11 devices shown in the following table. Okay, Windows 11 devices, device 1, 2, 3, group 1, member of group 1 and group 3, group 1 and group 2. BitLocker enabled, disabled, enabled. Now this is the policy related. So you have created a policy, you deploy the device compliance policy shown in the exhibit. So name policy 1, platform Windows 10 or later. These are all Windows 11, right? So it's applicable to this one, to all devices. Requires BitLocker, compliance setting, device health, require BitLocker, require actions for non-compliance, actions scheduled immediately, message template, scope tags default, assignment, included groups, group 1 and group 3, excluded groups, group 2. So group 1 and group 3, they are included. Let's open in another tab. Okay, so device 1 device 1 will have policy assigned and will be marked as compliant. Device 1 will have a policy assigned and will be marked as compliant. So the policy is you know, assigned immediately. So immediate actions, there is no delay, immediate actions will be taken. But if you see group 1 and group 3 devices, they are included, group 1 and group 3 devices. So device 1 and group 1, BitLocker enabled, so this one is marked as compliant or non-compliant.
Compliant.
Compliant because device 1 is a member of group 1 and the BitLocker is already enabled, so device 1 is compliant. Let's go to device 2. Device 2 is a member of group 1 and a member of group 3, so BitLocker is disabled. Is it compliant or non-compliant?
Not compliant. It's disabled.
Yeah, so the policy is applied to group 1, and since device 2 is a member of group 1 as well and group 3, so device 2 is marked as non-compliant, and device 3 is a member of group 1 and group 2, and the policy BitLocker is enabled. What do you think?
But group 2 is excluded
Yeah.
here. Yeah, so it's not compliant because it's excluded group 2.
Yeah, so group 2 is excluded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and group 2 is excluded, and remember I told you exclusions take priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, so device 3 is a member of group 1 which has the policy assigned, but is a member of group 2 as well, which has the policy assigned, enabled. So group 2, if you go to question, device 2 will have the policy and will be marked as compliant, so this one is no. The first one is yes, because device 1 is a member of group
They
1.
are also included as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and device 2 will have the policy assigned and will be marked as compliant, so no, because device 2 is a member of group 1 and group 3, and the policy is assigned to both groups, right? And BitLocker is disabled.
Yeah.
While here device 3 will have the policy assigned and will be marked as compliant, so device 3 is a member of group 1 which has the policy assigned, but also a member of group 2 which is excluded here. You see, excluded here. So that means that this device is not compliant. Question number 38. You have Microsoft 365 subscriptions that contain the devices shown in the following table. So device 1 Windows 10, and device 2 Android, sorry, Apple, and device 3 Android. Now, you need to ensure that only devices running trusted firmware or operating system build can access network resources. Which compliance policy settings should you configure for each device? To answer, drag appropriate settings to the correct devices. Each setting may be used once, more than once, or not at all. So you may need to drag. This is like a drag and drop questions. So device one is requires BitLocker. Uh, do you understand the question? Would device one settings require BitLocker and device one?
So we need to, I think, verify net.
Okay, so to root your sorry, to add coins to your 8 ball pool game, you needed an application, and in that application you could add as many coins as you want to your 8 ball pool.
Okay.
But the device must be rooted, right? The device must be rooted. If the device is not rooted, then you cannot add those coins to your 8 ball pool. Now, what is mean by root? So by root, you are giving privileges to that application, right? And then that application goes into your Android system files, which is usually hidden under normal conditions if the phone is not rooted. So it is being hidden, right? And you cannot change those configuration files, those settings. So that application will go into your internal memory. You are giving access to that application to go to your internal memory of your Android phone, change those configuration settings, like hacking, right? So in other words, you can call hacking. So they hack those files. That applications will hack your files, your system files, and it will add coins to your 8 ball pool. But the disadvantage of this is, you remember, you are giving administrative privileges to someone else of your device. That means your device is vulnerable and open to attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have jailbroken your iOS device, if you have rooted your devices, you have allowed admin privileges, and your device is vulnerable and is prone to attacks. Yeah, and if you root your device, you can even uninstall um, uh, built-in applications. Built-in applications can, if I ask you, can you go and uninstall a camera from your phone? Can you uninstall the flashlight from your phone? No, you cannot. But if you root your device, or if you jailbroke your device, then you can do such things as well. And the same thing comes with Windows as well, Windows 10. So there is a security feature which is called Secure Boot. You can configure that one as well, I think, in device help. Secure Boot, yeah. So Secure Boot is an option, requires Secure Boot. If you configure this one, then it is giving more security. So you need to research what is Secure Boot system, what are the advantages of Secure Boot. So require BitLocker. Um, okay, for device one, you need to choose from this one. You need to choose. Now, device one is Windows, right? And in Windows, the security feature we have is which one?
Windows 10. Yeah, we just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, in Windows 10 we have which one? Secure boot, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
secure boot for device 1, so require secure boot to be enabled on the devices. Okay, which compliance policy should you configure for each device? Sorry, you need to ensure only device is running trusted firmware. Now trusted firmware or operating system builds,
Mm.
these features, and these features can be mm, what do you it can be analyzed from in each device, each device type, right? Like I said, with Windows 10, secure boot is an option for Windows operating system. Not only for Windows 10, Windows 10, Windows 11,
Yeah, any Windows operating system, there is
yeah.
option for secure boot.
Yeah, secure boot must be enabled for Windows devices. And iOS, remember this terminology is used, jailbroken, prevent jailbroken devices from having corporate access. So iOS can be jailbroken,
Mm.
it's the same, the meaning is the same, for iOS and Android, root are jailbroken. So the difference is the term jailbroken is used for iOS, and the term root is used for Android devices. So for iOS, prevent jailbroken devices from having corporate access. So device 2, right? This one.
Mm.
And device 3 is Android. So where is the root option? Okay, prevent root devices from having corporate access. So you can configure these settings in device health. Now this one is for Windows, remember? But
Yeah.
yeah, if you let's check if we can create a policy for compliance policies. Create a new policy, and now remember, Android Android Enterprise. Okay, first we check iOS. iOS compliance policy, device health. You see jailbroken?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So jailbroken, you need to block. If a device is being jailbroken, you need to block, right?
Mm.
And then assign to iOS devices group. If you go, let's check the policy, compliance policies for Android.
Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah, Android Enterprise and personally owned work profile. Let's check this one. Device health and rooted devices. You see rooted devices. Even you can okay, rooted devices. If you block it, then that means your device which is rooted will not be allowed to be enrolled in Intune. So you can do all these settings in device health, right? And these are the for different devices, different services are used. Just remember, secure boot is for Windows devices, and routing is for Android, and jailbroken is for
iOS.
iOS. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now you have Microsoft 365 subscription that contains 1000 Windows devices, Windows 11 devices enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You plan you plan to create and monitor the result of a compliance policy used to validate the BIOS version of devices. Which four actions should you perform in sequence? So review the compliance policy. Okay, you need to choose 4 options from these. This one, have you done this in the lab? You have you have a computer that runs Windows 10 and contains 2 local users, named user 1 and user 2. You need to ensure that users can perform the following actions. User 1 must be able to adjust the date and time. User 2 must be able to clear Windows logs. The solution must use the principle of least privilege. To which group should you add each user to answer? Okay, so administrator, if you add the user
So
1,
user 1 must be able to adjust date and time.
yeah, and user 2 must be able to clear the Windows logs.
Hmm.
So these are the groups, right? These are the
Yeah.
groups, administrators. Now you can add user 1 to administrators, but it says, the solution must use.
User itself, they must able to adjust the not administrator, user.
Yeah, user, but
Yeah.
but it is asking that the user must be able to adjust these settings.
Yeah.
So you can add the user to any of these groups. If you add the user to administrator group, so
Yeah.
automatically user 1 will have the access, to change any settings,
Yeah.
right? If you add user 2 to administrator groups,
Then
so
yeah, then they have full access, but they
yeah,
have yeah,
then they
but
have
they
full
don't
access.
yeah, but they don't mention any then that user one added to administrator. They just ask for the user one must be able to adjust date and time. So which this option they can choose.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, if you add them to administrators, they can still adjust date and time, but they can do more, more besides just date and time. And here
Yeah.
it says the principle of least privilege, so least privileges should be given. So that
Mhm.
means that only he will be able to change the date and time, the user 1 will be able to change date and time only, not other settings. Yeah,
Others, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and user 2 must be able to change, what was the other
They are
thing, to
Windows
change,
lock.
yeah, to clear the logs, yeah, not any other settings. If you add them to administrator,
Mm.
right, so then they can do more things, they become administrators, and that is not the least privilege, that is full privileges. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you cannot add any of those groups to administrator. So let's say user 1 cannot be added um, to administrators. Event log readers, so if you add user 1 to event log readers, so cannot, because it is not something related to, what do you call it, to date and time.
Mm.
Date and time can be
I
set
think
up from.
a setup from power because
Yeah.
whenever you something startup or change, you
Yeah.
can see from the power setting. Yeah.
Yes, so you can add user 1 to power users. System managed accounts group is also not
No.
applicable, and performance log users is also not. So power users, and user 2 is, you see, to clear the logs. The question says user 2 must be able to clear logs. Administrator, like I said, cannot add to administrator because the user 2 will get full privileges. event log readers. So these two are sounds more, related to user two, event log readers and performance log users.
Performance log
So if
users.
you see event log readers, that means they can only
They
read the logs.
yeah, they can't operate any
Yeah, they cannot modify, but
yeah,
performance log users, they may change, they may be able so to change. So user two will be performance log users.
users.
So these two are, and I would say these are not the, what do you call it? There are no such things in Intune or Azure portal. You can say these are your own groups that you have made. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you create a policy. For example, you create a policy for power users. You name it a power user. The policy name is power users, and
Yeah.
then you only allow the power settings. Yeah. So the
Mm-hmm.
user can only change the power settings and then apply this policy to user one. So
Yeah.
that's it. And the same thing for performance log users. You create a policy named performance log users and assign that policy to user 2.
User two, yeah. Mm. Got it.
It says admins, admins and performance logging. But again, I would say admins, these are not something that you make your, that they are mentioned. You can create this policy. You
Yeah,
can,
but they ask for the just two policy,
yeah.
just particular only this. They only just modify date and time and clear window logs. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how if you add them to admin users, then this one is not achieved. This.
Then they will have full access. They can
Yeah.
do anything.
So
Yeah.
how can they say that that correct answer is admins and performance logging? It's not correct option. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
I would choose this one, power users and performance log users, because like is common sense. Administrators, they can change any setting. So why would you choose admins? Correct answer is admins and performance logins. And
Yes.
like I said, it is not something that comes built in. You can't modify it. Even I can modify the event log readers. I can, if I modify the event log readers, I create a
And they
policy.
have full access. They can do anything.
Yeah. So if I create log readers, event log readers, a policy, it's just, these are just the names, just the names, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can perform. But just from the naming phenomena, you can say which one. So performance log users you can use for log to clear the logs, and power users for time.
Yes. This is not correct. I also not agree with this admin
Yeah.
and performance logging. No, that's
Yeah.
not right.
So let's see if I have. No, there's no comment.
The last 2 3 session recording. I can see from your YouTube channel. Have you
No,
downloaded?
I haven't uploaded.
Okay.
Yeah, you have an Azure AD tenant named Contoso, and you have the devices shown in the following table. So device 1, 2, 3, Windows 11, 10, iOS, and Ubuntu Linux. Which devices can be Azure AD joined, and which devices can be registered? In contoso.com to select, choose the appropriate option. So device 1 and device 2. Which one do you think which devices can be Azure AD joined? What do you think? Azure AD joined, which device?
So yeah, the device one and device two,
Yeah.
not device three and four.
Why they cannot be joined to Azure AD? Do you have any clue for that?
Yeah, we did, I think, on a lab last time
Hmm?
because, yeah, so there is no option for iOS and Linux.
Yes, exactly. So you cannot, only Windows devices can be joined to Azure AD.
Yeah,
Yeah, only Windows devices. iOS devices and Ubuntu Linux devices or Android devices, they can be registered with the um, with with Intune, right? With Cartoso.com. So for the Azure AD joined, device one only, device one and two. So device one and two only, they can be Azure AD joined
yeah,
and registered in Contoso.com. So all devices can be registered. Yeah,
yeah.
because
I
we have,
tried
yeah, we
that.
have an option in Windows 10 and 11 as well to register, and iOS and Ubuntu or Android as well. Android is not listed here, but Android also can be registered into Intune, and Intune is contoso.com. See,
Yeah,
so the correct option is device one, 2, 3, and 4.
yeah.
All devices. Okay, so you have question number 42. You have an Azure AD tenant named contoso.com that contains the users shown in the following table. Admin 1 at contoso.com, admin 2, user 1, security administrator, cloud device administrator, none. You have a computer named computer 1 that runs Windows 10. Computer 1 is in a work group and has a local user shown in the following table. So these are the local users on computer 1, right? Administrator
Mhm.
1, administrator 2, and user A. So administrator 1 is a member of network configuration operators, is administrator 2 is power users, member of power users, and user A is a member of administrators. So user A joins computer 1 to Azure AD by using user 1 at contoso.com. For each of the following, select yes if true. So user 1 at contoso.com is a member of local administrator on group
Computer.
administrators group on computer. Remember we did this in the lab when we were joining a device to Azure AD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you add a device to Azure AD, so that a user um, is not a local administrator, but it is added
And,
to
and
um, yeah,
Azure as well.
to a domain, what do you call it? Sorry, to domain administrators group.
Yeah.
So it is asking user one at contoso.com is a member of the local administrators group on computer one. User one, right? Role
Yeah.
is none, and user A joins computer one to
Computer.
Azure AD. So user one is not a member of local administrator. You see, it's not mentioned anywhere. Anywhere in the, so user one, that is no. While it is saying that user one is a member of the local administrator groups on computer one. So no.
Mm.
Is it clear?
Not much.
You see user one,
Yeah.
who's user one? So user one has user one at contoso.com and the role is none. While
Yeah.
this computer one, you see computer one is joined to Azure AD using this account. You
User
see?
A. Okay.
Yeah, using this account. Sorry, user one account. So user A is a local administrator, right? He's a
Mm-hmm.
local administrator, and he used this account to
Join Azure AD.
to Azure AD. Yeah,
Yeah. Then he is also administrator.
but
Because he used this contoso.com,
yeah.
yeah, to join Azure AD. So he itself administrator, because whoever join uh, to with this account contoso.com, then
Yeah.
they will itself administrator.
So you mean that user one will be administrator?
Yeah.
No, but if you see the role here, user one, role, none. So is just a normal user, is not administrator. While it says user one at contoso.com is a member of the local administrator group, right? So how
Mm.
can he be a local administrator group when he doesn't have any administrator roles? His role is none, right? He's not
Mm.
an administrator, so that means he's just an ordinary user, a normal user. He has no roles assigned. So this one is incorrect. User one cannot be administrator, right?
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, because the role is none. Now admin one, which one is this? Admin one at contoso.com can configure the firewall in Microsoft Defender on computer one. So he is a domain administrator, admin one, and the role is security administrator. And you see, you have an Azure AD. These devices. You have a computer one that runs in computer one is an event group and has local users shown in the following. So user A joined the computer to the Azure AD. Now admin one is a security administrator, right? Is a security administrator. So admin one contoso.com can configure the firewall and Microsoft Defender on computer one. So what do you think? It's common sense.
Yeah, if they are configure firewall and Microsoft Defender, then only administrator, then they have access.
So admin one is a he has the role security administrator, right?
Yeah,
So he is a security administrator. So what is the uh, role of security administrator? To configure these settings, right? To
yeah.
configure the firewall and Microsoft Defender. So what
Mm.
is in the question? What is asking the question? Admin one at contoso.com. This user, which is a security administrator, can configure the firewall and Microsoft Defender on computer one. So is it yes or no?
Yes, because
Yeah.
security administrator, he is a,
Yeah, so he's a security administrator. Of course, he can do, right? He can change.
yeah.
And admin2 at contoso.com can install software on computer 1. So who is admin 2? Admin 2 is cloud device administrator. Admin 2 is cloud device administrator and can install software on computer 1. So cloud device administrator should be able to install. No.
No, this is for Azure AD.
Yeah.
So
So
this is they can download, they can install or download the software. They can
yeah,
manage only, directory.
Yeah, they can only manage devices. They can manage devices like joining the devices or policies, configuring policies, or mm, not policies, but only the devices, which devices should be joined and which devices should not be joined to the to the Azure AD. So
Yeah.
cloud device administrator can only add or delete or modify devices. They cannot install or uninstall applications mm, on domain computers. So this
Yeah.
one is also not correct. So admin 2 cannot install. So that is no. This one is also no.
Yeah.
If you see cloud device administrator, I believe I have defined it in the very first question, I think. Remember the lengthy question. Let's go to cloud device administrator. So cloud device administrator. Where is cloud device administrator? Cloud device administrator, limited access to manage devices in Microsoft Intra ID. You see, he has limited access. These are the actions. He can read all properties, read permanently, delete devices which can no longer be restored, restore devices, delete devices. You see, if you see, all are related to modifying the devices, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You see, even can read standard properties on device registration policies. I think he cannot even change the policies. You see, cannot
Yeah.
do any other things. It's not mentioned anywhere that a cloud device administrator can install applications or they can remove applications. Even cannot create any policies. Cloud device administrators, they cannot even create and assign policies. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. We'll
So
do tomorrow, Hassan, because I need to go.
okay. I was thinking we have to how many questions we did? 10 questions now?